All right, what? What would you like? Okay. Let's start this off. So I looked at Toronto's blue line. I want to look at Winnipeg's because some interesting stuff going on here. And I just want to look at it from an ice time perspective. So we can all agree that Bufflin is a horse on that blue line. 24 minutes and 22 seconds. Now Buff plays a physical game, so the odds of him getting injured, combination of experience, age, and whatnot, likely goes up. This is not a blue line that can afford that. Now, last year, Jacob Trouba was number 2 on their minutes played list, 22 minutes and 53 seconds per game. He's moved on to the New York Rangers. In his place is Pionk. Now, Pionk played an average of 21 minutes and 10 seconds with the Rangers. Does this mean he gets that extra time with the Winnipeg Jets? Because that's about a minute and a half difference per game between Pionk and Trouba this past season. Morrissey, 22 minutes and 24 seconds. I would say Morrissey's going to get a lot of ice time as well. He's pretty fantastic. Of course, Tyler Myers, 20 minutes and 21 seconds per game. He's signed in Vancouver. Sherratt, 18 minutes and 37 seconds per game. He's signed in Montreal. Nathan Beaulieu, who overall last season, 16 minutes and 51 seconds. He's been re-signed. And Kulikov at 15 minutes and 40 seconds. That contract doesn't look great. The good news, bad news is he's an unrestricted free agent next summer. So's Beaulieu. Samu Niku is a restricted free agent next summer, and so's Morrissey. They have to re-sign Morrissey next summer. So this cap situation they're in doesn't necessarily get better. Part of what we've been seeing, so you've lost 3 of the top 6. You've lost Trouba to the Rangers, Myers to Vancouver, Sherratt to Montreal. Myers and Sherratt you get nothing back for other than the cap space of not having re-signed them. Pionk comes back for Trouba, and we can debate whether or not that makes their defense better, the same, worse, yada, yada, yada. But here's the big problem Kevin Cheveldayoff has right now. Laine, Connor, Kopp, and Pionk are all restricted free agents. Yes, the guy they get back from Trouba is a restricted free agent currently, and they have $22.8 million to figure out how they're going to spread it around. This is going to be tricky because they are vulnerable to an offer sheet. If somebody throws $9 million at Connor, I don't know how they sign it because they already have issues on their blue line and they need to upgrade. Niku likely goes into this lineup next year. He played 30 games, 1 goal, 3 assists for them this past season. An average of 13 minutes and 55 seconds per game. I like Sami Niku. I think he's fantastic. But we'll see, right? Tucker Pullman, 24 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. Only 12 minutes and 34 seconds. Now, where it gets key, and this is why when people talk about, oh, this guy played really well. He only played 14 minutes a game. If he gets 18, he's going to be that much better. I look at it from both angles. I say, yeah, he could get better, or maybe the coach was limiting his minutes for a reason. And the example I always use is Cody Hodgson in Vancouver. His stats were fantastic because Alain Vigneault was playing him strategically. He was not giving him the hard minutes, and it ballooned his numbers just a little bit, and Buffalo came in and bid on that. Now, Logan Stanley is the wild card in this. If Stanley's ready, people are going to say in the comment section below, Logan Stanley's not ready, and he likely does need time in the American League, but he could potentially be the wild card in this. Now, still out there are Jake Gardner, who had 21 minutes and 13 seconds played for the Toronto Maple Leafs this past season, and Ben Hutton, who played 22-11 on average. That's too high. That's only 13 seconds less per game than Josh Morrissey. I like Hutton. He should not have been played that much. So when I see Canuck fans complaining about Hutton and how badly he played, I think he was overplayed. I think that's where Hutton was a problem. Hutton is best suited at, I would say, third pairing minutes. So he was overplayed. And I will admit, if Tyler Myers is overplayed by Vancouver, it's going to cost them big time. They've got to make sure that their defense is well proportioned and that they're able to give the right number of minutes to everybody. We discussed load management in different sports and whatnot. I think that's kind of what this is. Trying to figure out, okay, what amount of minutes is perfect for defensemen. In Bufflin's case, it's all of them. Give him as many minutes as he wants. So right now, their defense, you're looking at potentially Morrissey and Bufflin on the first 2, Kulikov and Pionk on the second 2, and Pullman and Niku on the third 2. That is not going to do it. Winnipeg has gone from a year ago, we're talking about how, they get knocked out by Vegas. They look like they should be our next Stanley Cup champions. And myself included, a lot of people were picking Winnipeg last summer to be the Stanley Cup champs in 2019. And now it looks like this blue line is in the midst of being downgraded. This is not the same thing. If you have Pullman and Niku as a pairing, and you could argue Pionk, but Pionk's going to play more than third pairing minutes. And I don't know that you can necessarily drop Kulikov down and put Pullman up. Is Pullman a top 4 defenseman already? No, he should probably be eased into that role. So that's why I've got Logan Stanley on the board, because who knows? The thing is, right now Kevin Cheveldayoff should be in on Gardner or Hutton. Because whether they play right side, left side, it really doesn't matter. He needs depth on the blue line. The problem is he doesn't have the cap space to do it. So what's going on with Winnipeg is they're quiet, in part because they don't know what their budget's going to be for those free agents. So for Cheveldayoff, well, he's probably going to take his share of criticism for the way that this past week has gone. I don't know what he could have done different, other than try to get Connor and Laine signed before July 1st. If we've seen anything this summer that already I think has been proven is get your restricted free agents extended before July 1st. Know what your budget's going to be. And we talked about that a couple weeks ago, where when the cap ended up being lower than expected, there was some idea that, well, they should have known better. These guys should have known better. Why did they spend ahead? Because if you don't, you end up here and you may end up spending more. Laine gets an offer sheet. I would say right now, 50-50, depending on what that offer sheet is. Winnipeg might walk away from it. And Laine could score 50 next year. Connor, I think it would be harder to pry Connor away from Winnipeg. I think Connor, because he does everything on the ice, I think it would be harder for Winnipeg to justify walking away. If let's say Laine gets the $11 million offer, where it would be 4 first-round draft picks, it would be hard to argue Laine, coming off of a 30-goal season, you could justify an $11 million 5-year contract. And again, I know there's people who would say he's worth it. He's one of the best goal scorers in the game. I know there's people who think he's the best goal scorer in the game, maybe other than Ovechkin. My point is, he had an amazing November. I saw his hat trick in Vancouver. He was great that night, but there were a lot of nights where he was standing around. This is the one guy who I'm saying, of the free agents that are out there, I think Braden Point, you might be able to get if you can put Tampa behind the 8 ball, or you may be able to work out a deal with Tampa where you're like, I'm going to give an offer sheet here to Point. You give an offer sheet to Point, and then maybe you call up Brisebois after and you go, all right, we'll take that guy off your, let's say Killorn. We'll take that guy off of your hands. You're going to be able to match, that kind of thing. Marner, I think there's a vulnerability there. I think it's not as strong as some people make it out to be, but there is some vulnerability. But to me, Laine might be the best one to go after. And I've wavered on this. I was going to do a whole video on Point today, but I've wavered on it, and I decided not to and erased that board and came up with this instead. This blue line for Winnipeg, it's tough, because one thing that they're talking about right now that the media has started to pick up on is Chicago's rearmed themselves. And we can debate whether they're better or they're not better. Colorado, they're good. Colorado is excellent. Dallas looks like they've added some scoring depth. We'll see how it goes during the season. They've gotten older, and some would argue they've added a couple of guys who have injury problems, and that means the jury's still out on that. You got St. Louis, the defending Stanley Cup champions. And I haven't even talked about Nashville. And then there's Minnesota, who went out and picked up a couple of guys too. Winnipeg has to be very, very careful. The Central Division, they could easily tumble this season. And if they don't have the bodies needed on the blue line, and we can all argue about whether or not Trouba, Myers, and Sherratt had great years. Because as soon as a player leaves, you're going to find those fans going, I don't care, I didn't like him anyways. He sucked. Trouba was amazing last year. Yeah, he had some downbeats in the playoffs. He had some rough games. But in general, he's a beast out there. Myers, solid, big kid. If he's not overplayed, he's good. Sherratt, I thought, came a long way this past season. Pionk, good addition. We'll see if he can offset what they lose in Trouba. And then from there, do the kids have to step in? So what does Winnipeg do? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below regarding what you think could fix this, who you think they could trade for, or do one of these free agents make some sense? Do they circle back on Hutton after they figure this out? Or are the rumors about Chris Tanev? One rumor that's out there is that the Canucks could move Chris Tanev and then sign Ben Hutton for a cheaper price, and fans are all over that, and it's like, believe it when I see it. I can't see it. I can't see Hutton sitting out there as a UFA just in case the Canucks might want him back. I think he'll take a contract as soon as he can because that's just smart free agency. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, or are we just completely overreacting? Does adding Pullman and Niku, it's not going to cause any problems at all, makes them more fleet of foot, and they're actually going to have a better defense, and we're all underselling it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just tapping upon this video. I will talk to you again soon.